Hello everyone and welcome back to Wyoming. So it's been a while since the last Wyoming video. Hope everyone is doing well. Obviously been doing a fair amount of time-lapse videos, so it's nice to be back on the mic and checking in, seeing how everyone is doing. So let me know in the comments below how you're doing, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So before we begin, just going to play a little bit of ball here with the dog. Obviously doesn't want to play, a bit like my dog, pretty useless. There you go, boy. Yeah, not engaging at all. So before we crack on too far, I'll just do a quick reminder of the ranch itself. So a quick look around here. So this was the main barn area. So with the horses here, and then through here you got the original field we had, which obviously we spent an hour or two ploughing in with the Porsche tractor we had and the tiny little plough. Took ages. And then looking at the map here, okay, we own the blue shown here. So we own half the top left field, and then we didn't own the bottom field after the update, so we had to cut off our field, which we put around with a fence. So that's Bill's field down there. So we'll go take a look now, see what he's up to. Hopefully we can check in with him later on, see how he's getting on as well. Obviously, if you got to close the gate, not useful. And again, there's the perimeter fence that we put in, which helped out sort of border off the main area of the ranch. So it looks like from the distance he's got a bit of lime in there, so not too busy at the moment. It's in June at the start, and it's also 5 AM currently. Nice early start today. So we'll head back now, and we'll just remind you of the new things we put in and what the current level the ranch is at. So just as we walk over, it has been a couple years in game, so I fast forward the time just a slightly bit, and then I obviously get the horses fed and watered. So some of them are now maxed out their value up to $5,000, so we need to get them all sold off today. So in the distance there, that's obviously the red barn we put in one of the videos. And then just here we have the little training grounds. So this is useful for the children, the newbies that have never been on horses before. So, you know, bit of role play, we use that as a training grounds. The old original shed here, which we put all of our equipment in at the original playthrough. And we still got some leftover bales here, which I forgot about. So we'll try and use those up when we can. Little tedder just here left out. And then through the woods, we've obviously got the old side business of the logging, which we cut down all the trees. That's still going. We sold off a lot of the logs, made a few $100s off them, not a whole lot. But we did manage to make some sales of the firewood and clear some land for the future. So that's not too bad. It did cause a bit of lag having all of the logs laying around, the chopped up logs, especially on my laptop. But we are on the gaming on the new desktop now, so things are a lot smoother, a lot more colourful, and it does run a lot better now it's loaded in the save game again. Obviously there's the training grounds again, which we set up on another video, put all the foundations in. And then the main horse barn here is where we keep all of our excess, so food, horse feed, bit of straw and some hay, a little bit of grass bale there I believe as well, leftover one. Around the side we've got the manure pits. So one here didn't work, it was the one the pit, but the extension seemed to have worked, and we've got about 93,000 litres of manure here. The other one on the other barn, it was a manure heap, so it didn't seem to fill up, so I need to rectify that problem with an extension on the other barn just across the way there, which we do fix later in the video. And again, let's have a look. So the ranch here I put in, I've got the fenceless husbandaries, and then you can see the green lines there. That's where the perimeter of the horses are, which is not a massive amount of space, but they sort of merge in. And all this excess here you can't actually use, which is not ideal because that's the limit of the horses. The only reason I use these more is because I could build a fence around them, and then these ones produce manure, or allow you to produce manure because you've got the straw option, whereas the open field ones don't allow you to produce manure. So other than being able to sell the horses, they're not actually making a whole lot of money. They're just sort of taking the food and the water, and then you just sell them off for the max value. Whereas at least in the main pasture you get the manure benefit as well. And we've got a few over here. I think there was 2 in these originally, and they reproduced, so I think there's about 4, maybe 5 in each field now. And then same again in the main pasture on the left here. that was maybe 10 horses or so, and then we've got more reproduced. So next up then, we've hired out this or leased out this big lorry here because it holds a lot of horses in the back of this trailer. So annoying, we can't just grab the horses one by one and get them in the truck. We have to go around and load them in, use this option. So it's a bit unrealistic using a huge lorry into the field, but it's the best we can do. I am on the Logitech steering wheel now, so G29 steering wheel. It's the PlayStation edition because I have a PS5 as well. So I bought it mostly for Formula 1, but it turns out it's actually quite useful using it on farm sim. It's quite enjoyable, a lot more smoother on the steering. Not so much reversing. I'm terrible at reversing on trailers, which you've probably seen on my time-lapse series, but I am getting slightly better. I didn't make a bad job of this one here. So yeah, we're going to load up all the horses that are worth 5,000, and then I think there was about 39 in total. So, and then we're going to take those down and sell them off. So what I'll do now is I'll just speed up time a little bit, put in some music, and then I'll jump back in once we are on our way down to the animal dealer. So I'll see you soon. Right then, here we are back in. So that's all the horses loaded up. So as I said, it's still a bit early in the day. We'll probably speed up time a little bit shortly, and then we'll head down to the animal dealer. So we've got 37 here. So do the math, 37 times 5,000. Let me know if you get it in time. And then once you sell the horses, okay, the aim today is just to try and sell off as much as we can, and then we're going to have a bit of a tidy up of the yard. So we're going to get all the horses sold off that we need to, and then we're going to centralize all the ones that are worth more than $1,000 into the main pasture again, and then they can all start reproducing and producing manure. And all the ones that are fresh borns, or only worth a couple $100 at this point in time, we'll get into the large open pasture out on the free range one, and then it just saves then having to go around and top up all of the grass and the hay and the horse feed on like 5 different pastures. Just saves a lot of time in the long run. So it's a bit more of an administration, tidy up today, because it's been a couple of years in game. And then once we get all of that sorted out, the next episode we will crack on with the next plan. So come on to the next plan is hopefully I get some input from the comments. If you're still listening at this point in time, is what to do next essentially. Do we continue the horse ranch and use the land we've already got and expand the living area where the caravan currently is, because we haven't got a house built yet? Do we add in some pigs, some cows, some chickens maybe? Because I think after a while there's only so much we can do with horses. We can feed them, reproduce them and sell them off, but they're not too exciting. They do produce manure, some of them, so we can use that to save some money fertilizing. But I would like to do is maybe buy a cattle ranch, so make some money or get another loan and head out to the plains or somewhere on the map different and start a new farm and see what we do building it, try and build it up from scratch this time, and then we'll do it episode at a time once we get the money. Do some contracts to get some money in the bank, or do we just buy a couple of fields, maybe plant some corn, plant some oats, and just be one big main ranch? So let me know what you think. Just doing a little navigation check here because it's been a while since I played this map, so not too far away, just in the edge of town now. Probably holding up all the traffic behind me, but that'll be fine, don't worry. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Hope everyone is doing well anyway, and let me know if you've enjoyed the other videos. I've done the Umbrian Valley, which I've done a video on yesterday as well, which I'm going to edit up, and I've also got the Italian time-lapse series, which is a bit hit and miss. Some of them get like a few hundred views and some get about 30 views, so it's a bit hard to gauge whether to keep that series going at the moment. I do quite enjoy the map. It's a bit different to the American ones, but I do believe most of my viewers do actually prefer the American ones. So maybe we'll do more Wyoming series now, but it does take a lot longer to edit these because I've got to do the voiceovers obviously and crop down the music and so on. Whereas a time lapse, you can just film it, speed up the time and chuck some music on top. So they're nice and easy to edit and get together. But if people prefer these ones, then we will do these ones in the future. Okay, so I'll skip ahead now and I'll see you down at the dealer. Okay, here we are then, down at the animal dealer. Made it just in time. So it's just comes to 6 AM now, which is when they open. So we've got the horses here we're going to sell off, and we make $190,000 off the first 37 horses. And there is 4 more back at the ranch that are worth $5,000. So in total, just over $200,000 for a couple of years work, which obviously it's a lot of money, but it's also not a lot in the farming world. That would buy maybe a decent tractor and a couple new items and a bit of land, but obviously we're going to need a lot more income to keep ourselves going in the long run. So we will start these ones off. We'll head back, grab the remaining 4, and then we'll do the tidy up as we mentioned just now. So I'll see you back at the ranch, and then we'll go straight into the last 4 and then start tidying up. Right, here we are once again. So that is all of the horses put into the two main pastures now. Well, three main pastures. You got the two in the central are the ones that are worth the most money at the moment. So we can focus on those selling next. They can produce the manure for us. And then once they come of age and health, we can sell them off as well for 5,000. So I think there's about at least 26, 27 horses in there. So again, that's 5,000 a piece. And then we've got maybe, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 7 or 8 horses in the open pasture as well. But they are the baby ones, so they won't be ready for selling anytime soon. But again, as soon as we sell off the main ones, we will transfer the younger ones into the main pen, so we can always get that the influx of manure coming in, which is going to come very useful later on, saving us money on fertilizer. So next up, we're just going to get all of the excess hay, alfalfa hay, into the main pastures, top up all the feeds, so that we can save having to top up loads of different pastures each time we need to refill them. So we can just focus on the water in the open pasture, and the stables themselves don't need water doing, they just need straw for the manure, and they need the hay or the oats or horse feed. So it will just save us in the long run a lot of time having to do a management. So if we do start an extra farm or more building or new animals, we can keep on top of the horses quite easy. We haven't got to then run around using these pastures. Obviously the idea of the ranch is to have it as a sort of stabled horses, or like a holiday sort of adventure park for horse riding in the mountains in Wyoming. But obviously we can't do that on the game, so we're just going to roll with it and just a bit of role play, assume that that's happening in the background, making us money, which I'll just add in every year, a bit of income from that business on the side. But the main focus now again is going to be just getting a bit more of a tidy up, get things nice and neat, and then we can have a good discussion about the next steps. So I'll leave it now, and then I'll jump back in towards the end of the video once we've got all the horses and the feed all topped up. So just a quick note on the straw here. So I haven't got a straw blower just because I found the concept in this game is quite annoying, having to have a machine just to blow the straw in. Obviously normally you just literally get a pitchfork and you just spread it into the pens as bedding. So I don't usually use the straw blower unless it's absolutely necessary. I probably will buy one at some point, but for now I just turn on the menu and I'll just add in the fill to tip. So fill the trigger up as long as I've got straw. So I either made straw or I've bought straw, and then I'll add it in. So it's not entirely cheating, it just obviously makes sense to just add it in like this way. Like I said, eventually we'll buy a straw blower for the main pastures to get the manure going, but that's why I added it in just there on screen. So I just noticed as I'm passing the thing here, added in the manure extension, and it's now filling up with manure. Before it was a manure heap, which is why it wasn't filling up. It has to be the extension to work. So in theory, I had this going alongside the other one, which made 92,000 litres of manure. So all I'll do is I can add it in using the tip to trigger for some reason. But when I get the manure spreader, I'll just add in the value of 92,000 litres into that. And then that will count as what we would have made in the pasture over the last couple of years, just as exact same as the other one. It's not ideal, but obviously for some reason you can't use the heaps, you have to use the extensions, which is sort of a game error. So we'll just roll with it. Yeah, so we haven't actually lost out too much. So we've actually got 180 odd thousand litres of manure we can use now, which is good. So now we'll just top up the water on the open pasture here. This is now the only one that needs water. The other ones are plumbed in. So again, that saves us a lot of time having to top water up, because we can miss that quite quickly and the health will go down if there's no water. Okay, here we are for the final time on this episode. So that is all of the horses now put into the new pastures and organised into value. So again, that should make our lives a lot easier down the line when we need to manage them. So next step, we're going to go out to the alfalfa field, see how the grass is growing. Obviously we don't really need much feed at the moment, we're pretty topped up on hay, so whether we cut it just now, we probably won't. I think what we'll do is we'll give it a cut probably in July, August time, maybe just one cut this year, and we'll just sell the bales straight away when they're at the max value, because we'll just be making bales for feed we don't really need at the moment. But again, we'll have a quick look around. The main thing we need is oats. We've got plenty of grass and hay to feed the horses, and again the nitrogen's pretty bad at the moment as well, so when we do cut it, we are going to need to give it a good spread of some manure and some lime, I expect at some point once it's been cut again. So that will be the main focus sort of next time, is getting the grass sorted out, and then we might either keep it as grass or we might replow it and put some crop in, so maybe some oats. But again, that's going to come with extra costs, with a harvester required and getting a seeder and all the other things we need to get the oats put into the ground. So I'll have a think over the next few days before the next episode, and then we'll decide. But just looking here at the value of the hay, is it worth selling? So that's the original hay, but obviously on this map you need to use the alfalfa hay, which is worth, let's have a look quickly, just scroll down, it's down here somewhere, there we go, alfalfa hay. So 148 at We Buy Hay it's worth. We'll just check out the fluctuations as well in a second and see the best time to sell any excess we've got. So it looks like January is the best time, so a good few months still now. So we could probably get 2 cuts in maybe by then. We could probably get a couple cuts in, or we could just get 1 cut in, and then we can get the field prepped for further crop down the line. But again, we'll have a think about that and see what we want to do. So that's it for now. I think we'll just head back in and park the truck up, and then we will take the lorry, we'll head it back to the dealership, and then we'll hand that in as it's on the lease today for 1 day, and that will save us a bit of cash as well. We don't want that big truck hanging about the ranch too long, and then we'll leave it there. So again, thank you very much for watching. It's been a bit of a sporadic first episode back, just due to some issues, audio issues once again, so I've had to do a voiceover after the recording, so it's all messed up at the moment. But again, before we go, actually, as you can see, there's been no changes to this part of the ranch. We are still living in the caravan because the main money went on the farm. So again, we do need to at some point find a nice area to buy a house. So we can either build a housing area up here, or we can make use of this land. We could get some animals up here, maybe some cows. We could plant a field in here potentially, have another field up the top. So there's plenty of options we can use here really to get extra income coming in. But again, we will see. Let me know in the comments again once again below Any ideas you might want to see if you do like this series more. I do appreciate everyone's input. End of the day, you guys are the viewers, so what you like to see or what you prefer is what I would rather put out to some extent. So again, thanks for watching, welcome back to Wyoming, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.